Ladies and gentlemen, our last quarterfinal contest for day one is upon us. This one is between the University for Development Studies and the Central University. These two are slowly and steadily making their way up to the semi-final. A win for either will be historic. Yes, the new phase UDS will be looking to book their place at the semi-final for the very first time. The last time they were at the semi-final, it was a combined UDS and UBIT team. Today, a place at the semi-final for University for Development Studies will be historic, as the new phased UDS, Tamale, will be making history should they win this contest. For Central University to be the very first time that they will be making their way to the semi-final. Whichever way this one goes, ladies and gentlemen, will be historic. A win for either of them will be historic. There are no ifs and buts. There can be only one winner. There's no coming back for the losing school because a place at the semi-final is at stake. There is no place for the loser, just by the way. This is still the Tertiary Business Science Challenge, is brought to us by Graphic Business in partnership with the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana and the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. Our media partners are TV3 Daily Graphic and Graphic Online. Our sponsors, Gold Ghana, MTN Ghana, PwC Ghana, Compu Ghana, Glyco Life, Ghana National Association of Teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, a whole pack of very supportive sponsors are behind us, bringing you this very interesting contest between two very great institutions. One from Tamale in the northern region, the other, are you in the Greater Accra region? Yes, Mutual. In the Greater Accra region. Ladies and gentlemen, now University for Development Studies, they were the Northern Zone champions. They beat the SD Dombo University at the zonal final. They then defeated Valley View University at the round of 16 place to book their place at the quarterfinal. They'll be looking to win this one, ladies and gentlemen. Now for Central University, they placed second at the Southeast Zone, losing to the University of Ghana at the finals. They then got a bye over the Catholic University of Ghana at the round of 16 stage. And here they are, looking to make history by qualifying to the semi-final. This one will be good. It promises to be exciting. Two very interesting schools. Two very good schools at the same level of strength. It's likely to go to the last round, ladies and gentlemen. This one will be decided at the end. Permit me and join me with a round of applause as I welcome the two schools to stage. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, who do we have from Central University?
Melanie Graham Goshen, final year accounting.
Emmanuel Nyako, final year accounting.
Tete Dede, level 200 accounting.
You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, who do we have from UDS?
Yusuf Abdul Hanan, level 300, accounting.
Rafiq Abdul Salam, level 300 accounting.
Yusuf Sukaraj, level 300, human resource management.
You're welcome, gentlemen. All right, so let me interview you a bit. Central University, what should we expect from you this afternoon?
We'll do our best in this contest.
How has the preparation been like?
Yes, it's been quite involving, so we hope it reflects.
Okay, UDS, what should we expect from you this afternoon?
We intend to do our best, as always.
How has the preparation been?
It's been great and promising.
Ladies and gentlemen, my contesting students are seated. They are poised for action. They all promise to have an interesting contest. They've all prepared well. and they are hoping to have a very good contest. I'm ready. One is in black, one is in white. I am in blue, ladies and gentlemen. This will go down to the wire. Of course. It will be full of fireworks. It will be full of violence. My name is Al Hassan Yusuf Trauli, and I love academic violence. Let's have some violence this afternoon. The contest will be organized in 5 rounds. Round 1 is on theory, round 2 on calculation, round 3 the business case of the day. Round 4A is the graphic business segment. Round 4B, true or false. The 5th and final round will be riddles. Please, are you ready? UDS. Are you ready, Central University? Let's go straight into round 1. Let's have some action. The contest, like I said, will begin from round 1. Round 1 is on theory to test your understanding of basic principles and concepts in business. Questions can come from any of the business areas. But remember that each of you will have to attempt 7 major questions. For a major question, you have 10 seconds to give me an answer. For a bonus, you have 5 seconds. 2 attempts only at a major question, unless otherwise indicated. For a bonus, you have 1 attempt only. 3 points for a major question answered correctly, 1 point for a bonus. Beginning this round from the University for Development Studies from Tamale. Tamale Kaula.
So,
All right, so we begin. Round 1. What is the effect of crossing a check with the words not negotiable? What is the effect of crossing a check with the words not negotiable?
that connotes that you cannot transfer that to another person. Basically suggesting that it is only whom the check has been given to that can cash that.
That is correct. Central University, what is the effect of crossing a check with the words account payee only? What is the effect of crossing a check with the words account payee only?
It indicates that only the one to issue the cash, the one to receive the cash can check out the money.
The one to
This indicates that the individual to whom the check is issued is the one who can check out or withdraw the amount of check or amount of money at a bank. or
yes,
financial
that is
institution.
correct. UDS, explain the concept of assertive communication and its benefit in workplace interactions. Explain the concept of assertive communication and its benefit in workplace interactions.
Assertive communication is when the communicator is straightforward and he doesn't compromises on whatever is happening, but he speaks to the facts and speaks to the issues. And it's very important when dealing with issues that has to do with involved with a person's integrity.
I'll accept it, it's fine. Now, Central University, explain the concept of persuasive communication and its benefit in workplace situations or interactions. Explain the concept of persuasive communication and its benefit in workplace interactions.
This is the situation where the communicator speaks to the emotions of the person to convince them enough to accept whatever they are saying.
And this can be explained in that the communication is done through or in such a way that the individual is influenced to an opinion, so that he or she can involve in a particular activity. And its benefit is that it can motivate or induce the subordinates to take upon an action that will be beneficial to the organization.
That's fine, it's accepted. All right, let's do some economics. Not very common though. UDS, what is the tragedy of the commons? What is the tragedy of the commons as used in economics?
The tragedy of the commons basically is about a phenomenon where you have scarce resources and people in an attempt to satisfy themselves, which when you have a public good that is of exhaustive nature, and some people, in an attempt to make sure that they get it, they hoard it or make it in such a way that it becomes less available for the general public.
That is correct. Central University, explain the concept of externalities in economics. Explain the concept of externalities in economics.
So externalities basically describe the outside influences or factors that impact the or the entity's operations, and externalities can also just form the external environment in which the organization or entity is being situated.
Goshen, come again.
So externalities in economics basically describes the external environment or the surroundings over which the organization is based, and it can form a basis for which the organization is being situated in terms of the general pool of labor resources that surround the entity.
I'm not sure I can accept that. Bonus for UDS.
So basically, externalities has got to do with cost that is not captured in the manufacturing process or the accounting process.
No, that is not correct. I won't take that. Generally, it refers to the positive or negative effect of an economic activity on parties who are external to the organization. So third parties who are not involved in the activity. The effect of your actions on those people. Okay? It could be positive or it could be negative. Next set of questions, common preamble, beginning with UDS. Common preamble. Cameron and Quinn's competing values framework identifies 4 types of organizational culture based on 2 dimensions, flexibility versus control, and internal versus external focus. You have to state and explain briefly to each of these 4 organizational cultures. State and explain briefly 2 of these organizational cultures as indicated by Cameron and Quinn's competing values framework, beginning from UDS.
We have the clan culture that has to do with the culture that related with family and cronies around you, and you have the adhocracy culture that has to do with competitiveness, a culture of competitiveness and assertiveness.
I will take that. That is correct. Central.
So flexibility and control as
No, even bailed out. So the 2 other cultures are the market culture and the hierarchy culture. There's no bonus here. Next set of questions, we are beginning with you, Central University, but this is a common preamble. Common preamble to the 2 of you. Hesse and Blanchard's situational leadership theory identifies 4 primary leadership styles based on the leader's level of directive and supportive behaviors. These styles are designed to be adaptable according to the maturity or readiness level of the followers. You have to identify and explain briefly 2 of the 4 leadership styles each. Hesse and Blanchard's situational leadership theory identifies 4 primary leadership styles. Okay, you have to identify and explain 2 of these leadership styles each.
So we have the contingency style, which deals with how the leader manages the employees, in that he acts on the basis of the external conditions that surround the entity. And also we have the democratic leadership style, which deals with he being more open and friendly and allowing the subordinates to their views in decision making.
No, please. That is not correct. Now you have your chance, UDS.
We have the member leader exchange theory. That has to do with the relationship between the employees and their manager, and how what is expected of the employees and what they stand to gain from their managers. Then we have the path goal theory, and that has to do with supportive, participating, and consultative leadership styles.
No, that is not correct. So the 4 leadership styles, according to Blanchard and Hesse's situational leadership theory, we have telling, selling, participating, delegating. Those are the 4 main leadership styles as mentioned. I'm not taking your answer. Now, Central University, your major question. Prototyping is a dynamic approach to information system development that involves creating a preliminary version of the system known as a prototype, which is then refined through iterative feedback from users and stakeholders. You have to identify any 3 advantages of prototyping as an information system development approach. Identify any 3 advantages of prototyping model as an information system developing approach.
So with prototyping, the initial software can be tested and make sure that it suits the particular needs and wants of the target customers. The second one is that prototyping provides some form of assurance in the extent to which the capabilities of the IT's facility has, and if any errors or adjustments need to be made, they can be made. And the last one is that prototyping provides the room for flexibility in that changes can be made in when the software is initially introduced, so that they can adapt to and upgraded so that they suit the needs of the customers.
That's fine. It's accepted. UDS, rapid application development, is an agile development approach focused on quickly building prototypes, involving users throughout the process and making iterative improvement based on feedback. You have to identify any 3 advantages of rapid application development as an information development approach. Identify any 3 advantages of rapid application development as an information development approach.
So we have taken the input of users of that application and taking their feedback into consideration. And then we have allow for modification of the current form of the product. And then we have allows for the product to be tested with the users or in the market.
You repeated the same thing in a different English. So come clear with your 3 advantages, Yusuf.
We have to allow for input of the users, and we have to allow for modification, and they allow for a strengthening of security systems.
It's fine, I'll accept that. All right, next set of questions, still with you, Central University. You have to all right, so this should be the last set of questions for this round. Central University. I'm sure you know about the Public Expenditure and Financial Accountability Framework, PIFA. It is a system or a framework used in public sector accounting to assess the strengths and weaknesses of public financial management systems. You have to explain the following methods of PIFA scoring. Central University, yours is weakest link method. Weakest link method for scoring PIFA or for PIFA scoring.
So yeah, with the weakest link as a concept in paper, So this essentially describes that the scoring of an item or asset that is under the ownership of a public sector will be based upon the lowest or the value that is lower than the standard or a score that has been set, and in that the public sector can use this as a basis to adjust and identify ways to improve upon that particular item of expenditure or asset. So okay, so this can also be this can also help. This can also
Rosen,
help.
please be specific with what you want to say. I need one
Okay.
concise answer.
So with the weakest link in paper, this is a concept in scoring of public sector accounting, where the lowest value or a set standard score below which an asset will be passed will provide an indication of how or the functionality extends to which an item has.
I'll give you 1 out of 3. UDS, yours is averaging method. Averaging method.
That is assessing the reporting methodology or the reporting process of an establishment by basically looking at the average performance of all of the reporting.
Of the what?
Of the reporting.
I'll give you 1 out of 3. So the PIFA scoring method, there are 2 main methods for scoring indicators under PIFA. So assuming we have an indicator with a number of dimensions under that indicator. So let's say we are measuring Central University. If we are using the weakest link method, then we look out for the one with the lowest score amongst the team. And that score becomes the score for the whole group. But then again, if there are other people who scored higher, then a plus is added. I hope you get it. So assuming we need a score for your team. Let's assume Yima scored A, you scored C, she scored B. Because you scored a C, that will be the score for the team. But then because they performed better, the score then becomes C plus for the whole team. But with the averaging method, what you do is to find the average score. Assuming one has a score of A, another B, another C, you find the average of those 3 scores, and that becomes the score for UDS. I hope you get that. That is how PEFA methods are scored. And on that note, we come to the end of round 1. Ladies and gentlemen, a place at the semifinals is at stake. 2 schools have made their way to the semifinals already. A university from the Central region, a university from the Greater Accra region. We have 2 schools here. One is from the Greater Accra region. The other is from the Northern region. Who wins this one, ladies and gentlemen? Will it be the UDS or the Central University? At the end of round 1, the scores. At the end of round 1, Central University had 10 points. University for Development Studies had 16 points. Please show some love as we prepare for round 2. We are going into round 2, which will involve calculators. You are free to use them. Each of you have the opportunity of attempting 7 major questions. For a major question, you have 30 seconds to give an answer for 3 points in 2 attempts only. For a bonus question, you have 5 seconds to give an answer in 1 attempt only for 1 point. Please, are we ready? If we are ready, we'll begin this round from the Central University. Central University. For Company E, planning materiality is set at 2% of total revenue. If the total revenue is 1 billion cedis and the auditor considers a 10% margin of error, what is the adjusted planning materiality? And also determine if a misstatement of 17.5 million is material or not. I take it again. For Company E, planning materiality is set at 2% of total revenue. If the total revenue is 1 billion cedis and the auditor considers a 10% margin of error, what is the adjusted planning materiality, and also determine if a misstatement of 17.5 million cedis is material or not.
So the adjusted planning materiality is 18 million, and the B part of the question, which we also assess whether the 17.5 million is what is material. The conclusion that it is not material because it does not exceed the materiality threshold of the 18 million.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. I'll explain why. UDS, for company F, planning materiality is set at 3% of total revenue. If the total revenue is 500 million cedis and the auditor considers a 5% margin of error, what is the adjusted planning materiality? And also determine if a misstatement of 15 million is material or not. For company F, planning materiality is set at 3% of total revenue. If the total revenue is 500 million cedis and the auditor considers a 5% margin of error, what is the adjusted planning materiality? Determine if a misstatement of 15 million is material or not.
We have a material of 150,000, and it's not material because it doesn't exceed the material threshold of 15 million.
All right, so I'm going to give you 2 out of 3. Now, Central, the reason why I gave you 2 out of 3, the materiality, you mentioned 18 million. Usually when an auditor is given a margin of error, it is an addition rather than a subtraction. So a margin of error should have been 22 million and not 18 million. Similarly for you, the margin of error should have been 15.75 million. The reason why I gave you 2 million, 2 out of the 3 is because you said it is not considered material. I hope you get that. Yes. Next set of questions, still beginning with Central University. LMN company is implementing a total quality management system and has identified the following costs related to quality. Prevention cost, 50,000. Appraisal cost, 30,000. Internal failure cost, 20,000. External failure cost, 10,000. You have to calculate the following for me. Calculate the total cost of quality, the total cost of poor quality, and the cost of poor quality as a percentage of sales, assuming total sales is 1 million. I take it again. LMN company is implementing a total quality management system and has identified the following costs related to quality. Prevention cost, 50,000. Prevention is 50,000. Appraisal cost, 30,000. Internal failure cost, 20,000. External failure cost, 10,000. Calculate the total cost of quality, the total cost of poor quality, and the cost of poor quality as a percentage of sales, assuming total sales is 1 million cedis.
Okay, so the total cost of quality is 110,000. The total cost of poor quality is 30,000, and then the cost of poor quality as a percentage of the sales is is 3%.
That is correct. Now UDS. Gidimajo Company Limited has identified the following costs related to quality management. Prevention cost 60,000, appraisal cost 40,000, internal failure cost 25,000, external failure cost 15,000. Calculate the total cost of quality, total cost of poor quality, and the cost of poor quality as a percentage of sales, assuming sales is 1 million. I take it again. Gidimajo Company Limited has identified the following costs related to quality management. Prevention cost 60,000, appraisal cost 40,000, internal failure cost 25,000, external failure cost 15,000. Calculate the total cost of quality, total cost of poor quality, and the cost of poor quality as a percentage of sales, assuming sales is 1 million.
We have a total cost of 140,000 and
I'm listening, please.
we have a total cost of 140,000 and a percentage of 6.14% and a revenue of a poor quality of total cost of poor quality of 100 and
What are you saying, Yusuf? Be specific with what you are saying in just 5 seconds. Start.
we have a total cost of 140,000, total quality cost of 125,000.
1 out of 3. The total cost of quality is 140,000. Cost of poor quality is 40,000. And the cost of poor quality as a percentage of sales is 4%. It is important that you take time to listen to the question before you start writing anything. It is when you know the question that you can answer it. Next set of questions, beginning with Central University. A company purchases a machine for 120,000 cedis with an estimated salvage value of 20,000 cedis and a total expected production of 1 million units. The machine produces units as follows over its useful life. Year 1, 100,000 units. Year 2, 200,000 units. Year 3, 150,000 units. Year 4, 250,000 units. And year 5, 300,000 units. Calculate the depreciation expense for years 2, 3, and 5 using the unit of production method. I take it again. A company purchases a machine for 120,000 cedis with an estimated salvage value of 20,000 cedis and a total expected production of 1 million units. The machine produces units as follows over its useful life. Year 1 is 100,000 units. Year 2, 200,000 units. Year 3, 150,000 units. Year 4, 250,000 units. And year 5, 300,000 units. Calculate the depreciation expense for years 2, 3, and 5 using the unit of production method.
So, with the unit of production method, year 2's depreciation is 20,000 Ghana cedis. Year 3's depreciation is 15,000 Ghana cedis. And then year 5 depreciation is 30,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, that is correct. Glycolife purchases a machine for 150,000 cedis with an estimated useful life of 60,000 units and a residual value of 10,000 cedis. The machine produced 10,000 units in the first year, 15,000 units in the second year, 20,000 units in the third year, 10,000 units in the fourth year, and the remaining units in the fifth year. Calculate the depreciation expense for years 1, 3, and 5 using the units of production method. Glycolife purchases a machine for 150,000 cedis with an estimated useful life of 60,000 units and a residual value of 10,000 cedis. The machine produced 10,000 units in the first year, 15,000 units in the second year, 20,000 units in the third year, 10,000 units in the fourth year, and the remaining units in the fifth year. Calculate the depreciation expense for years 1, 3, and 5 using the units of production method.
We have year 1 to be 23,300, year 2 to be 46,000, year 3 to be 46,600. And year 5 to be
All right, I can't wait for you to be calculating. I'll give you 2 out of 3. Yes, so we go on central investing. Your major question. Calculate the price of a bond with a face value of 1,000 cedis, a coupon rate of 5%, paid semi-annually, and 3 years to maturity, assuming a required rate of return of 4%. Calculate the price of a bond with a face value of 1,000 cedis, a coupon rate of 5%, paid semi-annually, and 3 years to maturity, assuming a required rate of return of 4%.
We have the present value to be equal to 1,040.
No, that is not correct. Bonus for UDS.
we have 972.77.
That is not correct. It is 1,028.01. Now your major question, UDS. Calculate the price of a bond with a face value of 1,000 cedis, a coupon rate of 7%, paid semi-annually, and 4 years to maturity, assuming a required rate of return of 5%. Calculate the price of a bond with a face value of 1,000 cedis, a coupon rate of 7%, paid semi-annually, and 4 years to maturity, assuming a required rate of return of 5%. Bailed out. Bonus for central university.
So we have it to be 1,071 and 70.
Yes. For the next set of questions, we begin with UDS. Next set of questions is UDS. A software development project requires a completion of 1,500 coding tasks. 3 teams Team Alpha, Team Beta, and Team Gamma are assigned to the project. The details of each team are as follows. Team Alpha, 7 members with individual coding speed of 10 tasks per day. They operate at 85% efficiency. Team Beta, 9 members with individual coding speed of 12 tasks per day. Operate at 75% efficiency. Team Gamma, 8 members with individual coding speed of 11 tasks per day. Operate at 80% efficiency. The question is, determine how many days each team will take to complete the project. Determine how many days each team will take to complete the project. Team Alpha is 7 members with individual coding speed of 10 tasks per day, operate at 85% efficiency. Team Beta, 9 members with individual coding speed of 12 tasks per day, operate at 75% efficiency. Team Gamma, 8 members with individual coding speed of 11 tasks per day, operate at 80% efficiency. Determine how many days each team will take to complete the project.
Is 182 days. Gamma is 150 days, and
Anyway, that is not correct, so let me not waste your time. Bonus for Central University.
147. 148 days. For Alpha, it is.
It is not correct. Anyway, it is not correct. Alpha is 26 days, Beta is 19 days, Gamma is 22 days. Now your major question, Central University. A software development project requires the completion of 2,000 coding tasks. 3 teams, Team Delta, Team Epsilon, and Team Zeta, are assigned to the project. The details of each team are as follows. Team Delta has 6 members with individual coding speed of 15 tasks per day. Operate at 90% efficiency. Team Epsilon, 10 members with individual coding speed of 12 tasks per day. Operate at 85% efficiency. Team Zeta, 7 members with individual coding speed of 14 tasks per day. Operate at 80% efficiency. Determine how many days each team will take to complete the project. I take it again. Team Delta, 6 members with coding speed of 15 tasks per day for each member. Operate at 90% efficiency. Epsilon, 10 members with individual coding speed of 12 tasks per day. Operate at 85% efficiency. Zeta, 7 members with coding speed of 14 tasks per day and operate at 80% efficiency. Determine the number of days each team will take to complete the project.
So for Delta we have 23 days. For the second one we have 13 days, and for the last one we have 31 days.
No, please, that is not correct. Bonus for UDS.
So with Delta, we've got 21.9 days. Epsilon is. I couldn't get that.
No, that's not correct. It is not correct. In actual fact, it's not supposed to be that difficult. So, for instance, Delta, 6 members with coding speed of 15 tasks per day. What is 6 times 15? If each member is doing 15 tasks per day, 6 times 15 gives you what? 90. We are told that they operate at 90% efficiency. So times 90%, what do we get?
It's 100.
81. So divide 2,000 by 81. That should give you the answer for delta. How we get it? It's not that difficult. All right. Next set of questions, still beginning with UDS, right? Yes, UDS. Calculate the risk-adjusted cost for a procurement decision where the expected cost is 500,000 and the risk premium is 10%. There is a 20% probability of a risk event adding 100,000 cedis to the cost. Calculate the risk-adjusted cost for a procurement decision where the expected cost is 500,000 cedis and the risk premium is 10%. There is a 20% probability of a risk event adding 100,000 cedis to the cost.
We have
The bell went before you attempted to speak. Bonus for Central University.
We have 5,720,000.
What are you saying?
500,720. 570,000. 570,000.
Goshen, I need one final answer from you.
500.
Speak now.
570,000.
Yes, that is correct. 5,200. Oh, Goshen. Now your major question. A project has an expected cost of 800,000 cedis and a risk premium of 15%. There is a 25% probability of a risk event adding 200,000 to the cost. Calculate the risk-adjusted cost. A project has an expected cost of 800,000 cedis and a risk premium of 15%. There is a 25% probability of a risk event adding 200,000 to the cost. Calculate the risk-adjusted cost.
So we have 900,000, 900,700, 970,000.
Yes, that is correct. Goshen, are you okay? Everything is fine. Yeah, relax. Relax. All right. Our last set of questions for this round, beginning with UDS. Mallory Limited is a VAT-registered textile manufacturing company approved by the Ministry for Trade and Industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 94,340 for the month of May 2021. Calculate the COVID-19 levy payable. Mallory Limited is a VAT-registered textile company approved by the ministry responsible for trade and industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 94,340 for the month of May 2021. Compute the relevant COVID-19 levy payable.
$900 and 943.4.
That is not correct. You have one other chance.
11,320.
No, please. That is also not correct. Bonus for Central University.
And we have 773.
Yes, that is correct. Now your major question, Central University. Wentima Limited is a VAT registered textile manufacturing company approved by the ministry responsible for trade and industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 60,950 for the month of May 2021. Compute the relevant NHIL levy payable. Wentima Limited is a VAT registered textile manufacturing company approved by the Ministry for Trade and Industry. The company made an all-inclusive tax payable of 60,950 for the month of May 2021. Compute the relevant NHIL levy payable.
1,250.
Yes, that is correct. On that note, we come to the end of round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for them. This is the last final contest of the day. In the earlier 2 contests, we had the University of Cape Coast and the University of Ghana both qualifying to the semi-final stage. One of these 2 schools will join them at the semi-final. Will it be Central University or will it be the University for Development Studies? Ladies and gentlemen, this is version 6.0 of the Tertiary Business Science Challenge. At the end of round 2, the scores. At the end of round 2, University for Development Studies had 5 points. Central University had 17 points. We are going into round 3, the business case of the day. Now in this round, both schools will be presented with a common problem. And they are supposed to work as a team and come up with one solution. It is not very difficult. It's something on taxation. Please, you may take your problem out. We'll read it together. Are you ready? In Ghana, let's take it together. In Ghana, the due date for filing various tax returns can vary depending on the type of tax. For each of the taxes, provide the due date for filing and the payment of tax. We have withholding taxes, payee returns, VAT returns, NHIL Get Fund, Communication Service Tax Return, Self-Assessment, Annual Company Income Tax, Annual Personal Income Tax Return, payment of withholding taxes, payment of payee tax, payment of monthly VAT, monthly NHIL Get Fund, monthly CST, quarterly self-assessments, quarterly company income tax, quarterly personal income tax, excise duty return, excise duty payment, filing of individual gift tax return, and filing of capital gains tax return. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our business case of the day. You may start work now. You have 10 minutes maximum.
great source of power, adding to your options, knowing that quality and standard remains intact, and our content, which is accepted as truth and accuracy every day, is accessible on the go. Access your favorite daily graphic and our weeklies The Mirror, Graphic Business, Graphic Showbiz, Junior Graphic, and Graphic Sports on Graphic News Plus app. It's the digital replicas of our work. Download Graphic News Plus app on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, and available on www.graphicnewsplus.com as you remain abreast of and keep pace with on-the-minute news updates on the go. Home sweet home. Welcome family and friends. Choose the bundle that best works for you from as low as 10 Ghana cedis weekly for unlimited access to all publications. Graphic, truth and accuracy every day. Information. The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our tertiary business sense challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more. The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our tertiary business sense challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more.
Minus 5x cubed all over 2 plus 7x plus c.
Plus C, that is correct.
But I want to warn you about that. There is nothing as deadly as a wounded lion. You've won this time, but when we meet you again, I promise you, you'll regret.
Please stop work and submit whatever you have done. Thank you.
very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our tertiary business sense challenge makes you see business from a different perspective.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome back from the break. So we gave our people a tax compliance schedule to complete. Essentially by the tax laws, the Income Tax Act, the VAT Act, the CST Act, and all relevant laws, we are supposed to pay tax within, file returns and pay tax within certain specified due dates in the laws. Failure to meet the deadlines, you end up paying penalties. So we ask them to indicate the due date for filing the returns and payment of taxes that we have indicated. So filing of all withholding taxes. You are supposed to file all withholding taxes within 15 days after the end of each calendar month. So if it relates to this month, the next month within 15 days, or by 15 days, you should have filed the returns. Filing of monthly payee return is the same thing. Within 15 days after the end of each each calendar month, you need to file your monthly payee return. Filing of VAT or monthly VAT return, that should be not later than the last working day of the month, immediately following the month to which the return relates. So if your VAT relates to this month, that is the month of September, by the end of October, you should have filed your VAT returns. NHIL and GET Fund, same as the VAT, not later than the last working day of the month, immediately following the month to which the return relates. Filing of monthly CST, the same thing. Self-assessment estimate. So companies or persons who are under self-assessment, not later than 3 months following the commencement of the basis period. So if the basis period starts from 1st January, within 3 months you should have filed your self-assessment estimate. Annual company income tax return, not later than 4 months after the end of each basis period. Same as a personal income tax return. Withholding taxes, for all of these taxes by law, essentially at the point that you are filing the returns, or the deadline for filing is the same as the deadline for payment of those returns, of the payment of those taxes. So if you know the timeline for filing, you should know the timeline for payment. So withholding taxes within 15 days after the end of each calendar month, same as payee returns. Monthly VAT, not later than last working day. The same for NHIL GET Fund, same as CST. Quarterly self-assessment, not later than 3 months following the commencement of the basis period. Quarterly company income tax, not later than 3 months following the commencement of the basis period. Payment of quarterly income tax will follow suit. Excise duty return, that one should be done within 21 days of the following calendar month. So if you are dealing in excisable goods, within 21 days of the following month, you shall have filed your returns, and then you pay the tax by that date as well. Individual gift tax. So once you receive a taxable gift, within 21 days of receipt of the gift, you are supposed to file returns and pay the appropriate gift tax. And then capital gains tax within 30 days after realizing the gain on the asset that you have disposed of. So that is what we were expecting. If you're able to indicate this right, 20 of them for 20 times half, and that should give you 10. Now let's see what they did. Yima, is there a problem? Yeah, sure. Central University. Filing of all withholding taxes. They wrote the 15 dates of the ensuing month. That's fine. Monthly payee return. They said before the end 4 months of the year of assessment. I cannot take that. VAT, filing of monthly VAT. They said on the last working day of the month. That is too ambiguous. Should be the following month. Okay, not the current month. Monthly CST, NHI also said the last working day, that is not acceptable. It should be of the month after. CST on the last working day, I won't accept that. Self-assessment, is that 4 months after the end of the basis period? No. Self-assessment is usually not later than 3 months after the commencement of the basis period. Annual company income tax, 4 months after the end of the year of assessment, that is fine. Same as personal income tax, that is also correct. Withholding taxes before the 15th day of the next month. I'll take that. But payment of monthly tax, that is not correct. All the rest, the 14, payment of quarterly self-assessment by the end of the first quarter. It should be not later than 3 months, so I won't take that as well. Indeed, when I check everything, you have 4 correct. Times half, 2 out of 10. UDS. Are you okay? Okay. So in order not to waste time, you also had just 4 correct. Yes. The only ones you got correct, number 9, 4. All right. You indicate, okay, so there's 14 days of ensuing month. That's fine. That's within 15 days, so that's acceptable. Same as number 6, 3 months after the end of the year. And then there's also 14 days, that is within the period, is acceptable. Number 9, number 10. Yes. From 11 to 20, you didn't get any of them correct. So that is 4 ticks out of 20. That's also 2 out of 10. So at the end of round 3, Central University had 2 points, UDS had 2 points. We are going into round 4. Are we making any substitutions? Okay, please go ahead and then effect those changes. All right, gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself. Who do we have from Central University?
Amwa John, accounting level 200.
I can hardly hear you. Speak into the mic.
Accounting, Amwa John, accounting level 200.
Okay, and from UDS?
I am Mohamed Hamid, finance level 300.
You are welcome once again.
Thank
we
you.
are going into round 4A. That is the graphic business segment. In this round, I'm going to ask them questions on stories that appeared in the graphic business newspaper. For the purpose of this contest, we are examining them on stories that appeared on the 3rd and 10th September editions of the newspaper. Each school have the opportunity of answering 7 major questions. If you get your major question correct, it is 3 points. Bonus question is 1 point. 2 attempts only at a major question, 1 attempt at a bonus. 10 seconds for a major question, 5 seconds for a bonus. We are beginning this round from UDS, but this is a common preamble. UDS and Central University. In the article on 2024 Media Budget Review, has the IMF program improved our lot? Synergy Ghana Limited provides an outlook of the country over the short to medium term. What is the outlook of the country in the following areas of program? I hope you got the question. Central, did you get a preamble? Central University, did you get a preamble? UDS, did you get a preamble?
Yes, please.
All right. So UDS, yours is public debt. Public debt. What is the outlook of the country in terms of public debt?
So we have public debt has increased from 109 to 109 to 167 billion Ghana cedis.
I'm not sure I asked for percentages.
Basically, the outlook of Ghana's public debt is worsening, looking at the fact that our debt to GDP is over 70%.
Okay, I'll take that. It's fine. Central, yours is in terms of the IMF program. In terms of the IMF program, what is the country's outlook?
In terms of the outlook, we have 110 billion Ghana cedis, which was from the IMF facility of 3 billion Ghana cedis, and it was an increment of.
What are you saying? Goshen, talk to me.
So, in terms of the IMF outlook, there was a 3 billion extended credit facility, which resulted in stabilization of debt service relief. Okay, there was debt service relief of about 4.2.
2 out of 3. Let's go on. Next set of question. UDS. It's a common preamble to both schools. Let's move on. Many countries are being squeezed by increasing interest payments and high debt redemptions. The economic scarring of the pandemic, conflicts around the world, and the abrupt rise in global interest rates have hit low-income countries the hardest. Now, UDS, the median low-income country is spending over twice as much on debt service to foreign creditors as a share of revenue than it did 10 years ago. What was the percentage in 2023 as compared to the percentage 10 years earlier? The median low-income country is spending over twice as much on debt service to foreign creditors as a share of revenue than it did 10 years ago. What was the percentage in 2023 as compared to the percentage 10 years earlier?
From 10 years earlier, it was 20%, and now 60%.
I won't take that.
14%, and now 16%.
And now what?
16.
16%.
60%.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. 14%. It is from 6% earlier. Not 10, not 60, not 16. Central University. Following year of substantial borrowing, debt redemption in low-income countries over the near term are almost triple their long-term average. What is the annual average now as compared to the annual average from 2010 to 2020? Following years of substantial borrowing, debt redemption in low-income countries over the near term are almost triple their long-term average. What is the annual average now as compared to the annual average from 2010 to 2020?
So the annual average now is 60 billion Ghana cedis, and then 10 years ago it was 20 billion Ghana cedis. It was, okay, so in now it is 60 million Ghana cedis. 10 years ago it was 20 million Ghana cedis.
You said billion earlier, you are changing to million. Which of them do you want to stick to? Choose one.
So it is billion. Billion.
You know what? I'm going to give you 2 out of 3. We need to appreciate the fact that these brilliant minds have a lot of figures in mind. It is 60 billion, but it is dollars, not cedis. But of course, that is why I'm giving you 2 out of 3. I understand the pressure that you people have to go through, so it's fine. Yeah, so 2 out of 3. Sure. Okay, so let's go on. Common preamble to the 2 of you. We'll begin with UDS. According to the Minister of Finance, the government is currently in a development policy operation program with the World Bank for a period of 3 years to support the budget and implementation of key reforms. He said there were, however, 4 legislations pending parliamentary approval that were critical to the approval and disbursement of the second tranche of the DPO series. You have to identify any two of these legislations that are before Parliament. Identify any two of these legislations which, according to the Minister of Finance, are before Parliament, beginning with UDS.
We have the Social Protection Bill and the Environmental Protection Authority Bill.
Yes, that is correct. Central.
So we have the LI on independent purchase power, and
John,
we have,
speak loudly.
we have okay, the legislative include the LI.
The legislative instrument on the LI on the independent purchasing power, and also we have the Ghana GIPC, the amendment of GIPC 2013 Act 86.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, so next set of questions, still beginning with UDS, Common Preamble. Despite the lower half-year mobilization performance, annual total revenue and grant have been revised upwards. Now, UDS, what was the original 2024 annual total revenue target? What is the revised figure? And by what percentage was it revised? What was the original 2024 annual revenue target? What is the revised figure? And by what percentage was it revised?
We have initially 176.4 billion and now 177.22 billion, a percentage of 0.5.
I'll take that. That is correct. Central, what was the non-oil, non-revenue target? What is the revised figure now, and by what percentage was it revised? What was the non-oil, non-revenue target? What is the revised figure, and by what percentage was it revised?
Okay, so the non-oil, non-revenue target was 145.8 billion in 2023, and last year it was 110 billion.
That is not correct. Bonus for UDS.
We have initially 14.8 billion and now 15.6 billion, a percentage of 0.05.
I'll take that. For our next set of questions, we begin with Central University. We begin with Central University. All right, Central. According to Ms. Gifty Owusu, the valedictorian of the August 2024 graduating cohort of the University of Ghana School of Graduate Studies, in the face of global climate change, Ghana was pioneering a new frontier in Africa's green economy. What is the name of this strategy? According to Gifty Owusu, in the face of global climate change, Ghana was pioneering a new frontier in Africa's green economy. What is the name of this strategy?
So it was named it is the green carbon financing.
No, that is not correct. Even bailed out. Bonus for UDS.
The Paris Agreement.
No, that is not correct. It is a carbon market. The carbon market. Now your major question, UDS. According to the same Gifty Owusu, at the heart of Ghana's carbon market strategy lies its commitment to an accord that Ghana is a signatory to. What is this accord? According to Gifty Owusu, at the heart of Ghana's carbon market strategy lies its commitment to an accord that Ghana is a signatory to. What is the name of this accord?
The Paris Agreement.
Definitely the Paris Agreement. Next set of questions. Common preamble. All right, not a common preamble. Central investing. Affordable housing refers to housing that is within the financial reach of the general public or general population. The Brazil government launched a housing program called the Minha Casa, Minha Vida, MCMV. I want you to explain this housing scheme being implemented by Brazil and the benefit of such a system to Ghana. Explain the affordable housing scheme being implemented in Brazil and how it is beneficial to Ghana.
So the initiative was the utilization of government revenues, such as the grant tax and tax initiative to provide housing strategies, provide housing units to its citizens. So the benefit is that government can utilize these forms or can follow the model adopted by Brazil to provide a similar housing unit model for its citizenry.
Explain the program again, the housing scheme. What did you say? I could hardly hear you.
So the Brazil scheme. So the Brazil, in Brazil, the government enforced the utilization of government revenue, which includes the grant tax initiative, which serve as a means to cushion the high cost of building affordable homes. And with the utilization of this, individuals or entities the government can support individuals to build such homes for Ghanaians in Ghana.
I'll give you 2 out of 3. UDS, you have to explain the cooperative housing model being implemented by Canada and the benefit of such a housing scheme to Ghana. Explain the cooperative housing model being implemented by Canada and how it can be beneficial to Ghana.
The cooperative housing scheme has to do with members of a cooperative coming together to put up a building with a housing unit with help of the government, so that the ownership belongs to the members of that cooperative. That came together to put up the housing unit.
And that basically has got to do with the tenants in those homes are, in this case, shareholders of the company that is supposed to be the financier of the construction of those buildings.
I'm giving you 2 out of 3. There's a second part to the question which you have failed to answer.
And basically,
oh, I was waiting for you to add that part. You never did. So 2 out of 3. Our last set of questions for this round, beginning with Central University. Central, SNET, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, has assured workers that it will continue to manage their investment prudently and sustainably. The trust made a surplus of 864 million cedis in 2023. You have to identify 3 factors that contributed to this surplus position. SNET made a surplus of 864 million in 2023. Identify 3 factors that are mentioned in the article that contributed to this surplus.
So one of them was that there was a general improvement in the way the SNET manages its funds. Okay, and the other one was that there was an increment in investment income, as well as an improvement in the cost controls, which cost control strategy, as well as the overall rise in SNET member contributions.
Yes, that is correct. UDS, according to the Director General of SNET, the cooperation and compliance of employers have allowed Senate to maximize the use of digital platforms. What three benefits did he mention are as a result of the use of digital tools? What three are the three benefits mentioned to be as a result of the use of digital tools by the trust?
So the use of digital tools has facilitated compliance in respect of individual companies supposed to make payments to the organizer, and that also has helped to ensure that profitability is improved of the. That's basically.
And allow the pensioners to file their contributions.
I need one person to tell me what you want to say. One person should talk.
Basically, what it has helped most to do is to ensure that there is maximum compliance to the extent that companies are able to pay the right contribution on time.
Okay. All right. So 1 out of 3. So pension services are now more efficient. There's improvement in contribution collection and payment. The second one is a reduction in delays in processing pension claims and also simplifying administrative procedures. On that note, we come to the end of round 4A, ladies and gentlemen. The contest is between Central University and the University for Development Studies. A place at the semi-final is at stake. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 4A, the scores. Do you have the scores ready? At the end of round 4A, Central University had 12 points, UDS had 18 points. We are going into round 4B, which is a true or false segment. Cat and mouse games. Round 4B, true or false. Now in this round, I'm going to read out some statement to you. It is your duty to tell me if the statement is true or false. If you get it correct, 2 points. If you get it wrong, -1. There will be 7 major statements to you all. You have 10 seconds within which to give me an answer. You may decide not to answer, in which case we can pass it on to the other school. Please, are we okay? UDS, are you okay? Central University, are you okay? All right, let's begin with Central University. Central, in high context cultures, nonverbal cues such as body language and facial expressions play a less significant role compared to verbal communication. True or false? In high context cultures, nonverbal cues such as body language and facial expressions play a less significant role compared to verbal communication. True or false?
False.
Yes, false. UDS. The concept of proxemics refers to how individuals use personal space in communication, and its interpretation remains consistent across all cultures. True or false? The use of proxemics refers to how individuals use personal space in communication, and its interpretation remains consistent across all cultures. True or false?
That is false.
Yes, it is correct. Central. Reverse innovation refers to innovations developed by in advanced economies that are later adapted and introduced to emerging markets. True or false? Reverse innovation refers to innovations developed in advanced economies that are later adapted and introduced to emerging markets. True or false?
True.
No. UDS, radical innovation, involves incremental improvement and modifications to existing products or processes. True or false? Radical innovation involves incremental improvements and modifications to existing products or processes. True or false?
True.
No. Central, securitization involves pooling various types of receivables and selling them as securities to investors. True or false? Securitization involves pooling various types of receivables and selling them as securities to investors. True or false?
True.
Yes. UDS, in a factoring arrangement, the company retains the risk of uncollectible account. True or false? In a factoring arrangement, the company retains the risk of uncollectible accounts. True or false?
That's true.
No. Central. If products are produced jointly in fixed proportions, then their product transformation curves are right angles. True or false? If products are produced jointly in fixed proportions, then their product transformation curves are right angles. True or false?
False.
No. UDS, products that are produced jointly in fixed proportions are substitutes in production. True or false? Products that are produced jointly in fixed proportions are substitutes in production. True or false?
That's false.
Yes. For the next set of questions, we begin with UDS. Next set of questions, we are beginning with UDS. UDS. Cognitive dissonance occurs when a consumer experiences conflicting thoughts or doubts about a purchase decision after the purchase has been made. True or false? Cognitive dissonance occurs when a consumer experiences conflicting thoughts or doubts about a purchase decision after the purchase has been made. True or false?
True.
Yes, true. Central. The concept of heuristics refers to mental shortcuts or rules of thumb that consumers use to make quick and efficient decisions. True or false? The concept of heuristics refers to mental shortcuts or rules of thumb that consumers use to make quick and efficient decisions. True or false?
True.
Yes, it's true. UDS, in linear programming, if the feasible region is empty, it means that the problem has no feasible solution. True or false? In linear programming, if the feasible region is empty, it means that the problem has no feasible solution. True or false?
False.
No, it's true. Central University, in linear programming, if the objective function is to be minimized, it must be multiplied by -1 to convert it into a maximization problem. True or false? In linear programming, if the objective function is to be minimized, it must be multiplied by -1 to convert it into a maximization problem. True or false?
False.
No. UDS, last set of questions for this round. Last set of questions. UDS, for individuals, capital gains are treated as an isolated transaction and taxed at a rate of 15% of the net gains realized. True or false? For individuals, capital gains are treated as an isolated transaction and taxed at a rate of 15% of the net gains realized. True or false?
False.
No. Central, the tax payable on gift from investment is 25% for a resident Ghanaian and 30% for a non-resident Ghanaian. True or false? The tax payable on gift from investment is 25% for a resident Ghanaian and 30% for a non-resident Ghanaian. True or false?
True.
Yes. It is true. Yes. Gift tax for from investment. 25% for residents, 30% for non-residents. On that note, we come to the end of round 4B. Ladies and gentlemen, the tension, you can actually touch the tension in the room. Yes. You can pick it and cook it. Ladies and gentlemen, it'll go down the wire. I said it at the beginning that this contest will be won in the last round. Traule is a prophet, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of round 4B, the scores. At the end of round 4B, UDS had 2 points, Central University had 5 points. Okay, so let's settle this here and now. Riddles, 5 of them in all. The riddles are open to both of you. The first school to ring their bell will be required to answer in 10 seconds. If you get it correct, you can get 5 points if it's correct on the first clue, 4 points on the second clue, 3 points on any other clue thereafter. If you get it wrong, you can no longer partake in this riddle. Please, are we ready? Let me hear the bell from Central University. And that of UDS. Yes, let's do this. 5 riddles in all. Riddle number 1. I am an equitable doctrine applied to prevent unjust enrichment and a part of what some will call judge-made laws. 2, I arise in situations where there's no legal or contractual relationship between the parties that might otherwise ground such a claim. 3, I am a quasi-contractual in nature, and I am a cause of action for a debt, not evidenced by a written contract between the parties. 4, I am not premised on wrongdoing, but I look only to the justice of the case, and I inquire whether the defendant has received money that rightfully belongs to the other. 5, I can be evoked whenever one man has received or obtained the possession of the money of another, which he ought in equity and good conscience to pay over. Who am I? UDS.
Equitable restitution.
No, please. Central University.
Damages.
No. It is called money had and received. Money had and received. Riddle number 2. Okay. I am an important policy document developed for a process, a unit, a department, division, or organization. 2, I am usually brief and easy to understand, with a focus on how things should be done rather than what needs to be done. 3, I have to be followed the exact same way every time to guarantee that the organization remains consistent and in compliance with industry regulations and business standards. 4, I can benefit a business by reducing errors, increasing efficiencies and profitability, creating a safe work environment, and producing guidelines for how to resolve issues and overcome obstacles. 5, I am the set of written instructions that describes the step-by-step process that must be taken to properly perform a routine activity. Who am I? Central University.
Program decisions.
No, please. It is not program decisions. UDS.
Tacit knowledge.
No. I said document. It is standard operating procedure, SOP. Standard operating procedure. Riddle number 3. I am a provision in Section 60 of the Public Procurement Act 2023, Act 663 as amended. 2, I am an adjustment. I am an adjustment in price allowed under national competitive tendering and international competitive tendering for goods and works. 3, I am not granted to a domestic company wholly or majorly owned by a non-citizen or a non-citizen supplier for the procurement of goods. 4, my objective is to make the tender price for domestic contractors or suppliers and domestically produced goods more competitive during tender evaluation. 5, for 100% Ghanaian-owned supplier for goods, I am at a rate of 15% and an additional rate of 15% for goods manufactured in Ghana or 10% for goods assembled in Ghana. Who am I? Yes, Central University.
We have price adjusted index.
No, please. That is not correct. UDS. Yes, UDS.
Tender committee.
It is the margin of preference. Margin of preference. Okay. Riddle number 4. I am a complex idea centered on statistical analysis of data and financial modeling. I am used to explain the relationship between an independent and dependent variable. 3. I examine how differences in one variable can be explained by the difference in a certain central university.
Coefficient of variation.
No, please. You can no longer partake in this riddle. I examine how differences in one variable can be explained by the difference in a second variable when predicting the outcomes of a given event. 4. I am represented as a value between 0.1 and 1.0, where a value of 1.0 indicates a perfect correlation. 5. As a coefficient, I generally answer the following questions. If a stock is listed on an index and experiences price movements, what percentage of its movement is attributed to the index's price movement? I am more commonly known as the R squared. Who am I? Yes, UDS.
Coefficient of variation.
Is that not what they said? Coefficient of determination. Okay. So the last one. The last riddle. I am a legal term derived from Latin, meaning to be informed of. 2. While I am predominantly associated with administrative law, judicial review, and appellate procedures, I can also have relevance in the context of contract law, particularly in scenarios involving judicial review of decisions affecting contractual rights and obligations. 3. My primary purpose is to ensure that justice is administered properly and that lower courts or tribunals act within their jurisdiction and follow legal procedures. 4. In contract law, I can be invoked when a party believes that a lower court or tribunal has made a decision affecting their contractual rights in a manner that involves a legal error, exceeds jurisdiction, or involves procedural impropriety. Yes, UDS.
Certiorari.
Yes, certiorari. Certiorari is correct. They answered on the 4th clue, that is 3 points. So, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we come to the end of the contest. So the scores for round 5. Central University had none of the riddles correct. UDS had 3 points in round 5. We wait the final score to see who won this contest. All right, let's do the final scores. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the contest, University for Development Studies had 46 points. Central University had 46 points. Ladies and gentlemen, per the rules of the competition, this is a tie and we have to go into a tiebreaker. I'm even confused. Yes, so we'll go for a very quick commercial break. We'll be right back to go into the tiebreaker. Please.
The very essence of leadership is to become more. At ICAG, we stand for leadership and we are inspired to offer more. Leadership stands up to be answerable. We use our national and international conferences to tell our story and hold ourselves to high global benchmarks. Leadership is where brilliance is rewarded. We reward brilliance with scholarships for postgraduate students. Leadership thrives on fresh ideas. Our tertiary business sense challenge makes you see business from a different perspective. Leadership is not about today. We keep an eye on tomorrow by providing internships in high-ranked institutions to inspire the next generation of business leaders. Leadership is acquiring ATSWA, CA Professional, Post-Chartered Diploma from ICAG. ICAG, where leaders become more.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. The studio is charged, yes, for a right cause. At the end of the contest, we could not separate the University for Development Studies and the Central University. Per the rules of the competition, there has to be a tiebreaker. Per the rules of the competition, once again, we have a format for breaking these ties. In the first two instances, we give a riddle. So there will be a riddle. The first school to ring their bell and answer wins the contest. Where the first riddle is not answered, we go on to another riddle. Where at the end of two riddles we are not able to separate the two schools, we go to true or false questions. Each school will be asked a true or false question for a first set. Where there is no winner in the first set of true or false questions, we go for another set of true or false questions. At the end of two true or false questions, if there's no winner, we go to a calculation question. Two calculation questions. Where there is still no winner, we go to two theory questions. Where there is no winner at the end of two theory questions, we go into a business case of the day. At the end of that round, if there's still no winner, we repeat the cycle until someone gets tired and decides to give up. So at this stage, riddle number 1, open to both of you. There will be two riddles. I am a sociological and communications framework designed to unravel the enduring impact of media consumption with a primary focus on television. 2, as a theory, I was composed originally by George Gebner in the 1960s and later expanded upon by Gebner and Gross in 1976 in an article, Living with Television, The Violence Profile. 3, I believe that television has taken the role which family, schools, mosques, and churches formerly played in the society, which is a function of enculturation. 4, I hold that long-term exposure to media shapes how media consumers perceive the world and conduct themselves. 5, at its core, I posit that individuals who invest more time in watching television are prone to perceive the real world through the lens aligning with the prevalent depictions in television messages, in contrast to their counterparts with lower television viewership but comparable demographic profiles. Who am I? Yes, Central University. No, please, that is not correct. UDS. No, that is not correct. It is known as a cultivation theory. Cultivation theory. Riddle number 2. I am the partial or full use of a foreign currency in parallel to or instead of a domestic currency. I usually occur in developing countries with a weak central monetary authority or an unstable economic environment. I usually happen when a country's own currency loses its usefulness as a medium of exchange due to hyperinflation or instability. 3, I can occur as an official monetary policy or as a de facto market process. 4, I can have both benefit and cost. I typically result in enhanced monetary and economic stability, but necessarily involves loss of economic autonomy in monetary policy. 5. I occur when a country begins to recognize the US dollar as a medium of exchange or legal tender alongside or in place of its domestic currency. Yes, UDS.
That's dollarization.
Yes. Dollarization is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, UDS has broken the tie. We have a winner for the contest, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. At the end of the contest, at the end of the tiebreaker, UDS answered the second riddle on the last clue. And by that, they have won the contest, ladies and gentlemen. Please show some love to them. Central University, how does that feel?
It was a very close one. It was a very close one. We are not so disappointed. We tried a lot. We met them 2-2. Perhaps I'm sure we could have won. Looking at how close it was, if we had made some split-second decisions, but nevertheless, I'm happy. I'm happy for my team members here. I'm happy for everyone who has supported us this far, and it's making a nice moment.
UDS, how do you feel?
We are excited that we are still in the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right. At the end of the very close contest between UDS and Central University, we have a winner. At the end of the contest, Central University ended with 46 points. UDS, by virtue of that tiebreaker, wins with 49 points. Congratulations, UDS. You've qualified to the semi-finals of the Tertiary Business Science Challenge 2024. Central University, hard luck to you. You did your best, but unfortunately, it's a heart-breaking loss. But of course, I want to believe you are proud of yourselves. You did great. It just had to take one riddle to be able to separate you. You almost won it before the last riddle, and you lost it at the tiebreaker. Sorry about that, Central University. I hope you prepare and come back stronger next year. Unfortunately, this is where your journey this year has to come to an end. Now, no, we are not done. Please, we are not done. University for Development Studies, congratulations once again. You have qualified to the semi-final stage of this year's Tertiary Business Science Challenge. Already we have the University of Cape Coast, University of Ghana, and now University for Development Studies. UDS won the Northern Zone. Indeed, they have shown why they were Northern Zone champions. They showed they never gave up. Indeed, the tenacity and the can-do spirit, the resilience has paid off. Congratulations to you, UDS. Ladies and gentlemen, the last contest for the day has just come to an end, with the University for Development Studies winning. Our first contest tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our first contest tomorrow will be between Pentecost University and the University of Education, Winneba. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we want to thank you. Very much for being part of this contest. It's been a very interesting and engaging one. Indeed, it had to take a tiebreaker to separate two giants in the game, UDS and Central University. But at the end, we have a winner. We prepare for our next contest tomorrow morning. But before then, special appreciation to Graphic Business, ICAG, and GTech for bringing us this contest. Also, special appreciation to our media partners, TV3, Daily Graphic Online. To our sponsors, Gold Ghana, MTN Ghana, PwC Ghana, Glyco Life, Compi Ghana, Ghana National Association of Teachers. And to you, my lovely viewers, audience, studio audience, and those online. Thank you so much for being part of this. And of course, we couldn't have done this without the support of our technical team. Jacob Doku, David Abel, David Gazo, Mr. Asari Felix Teng, AJ Alfred Ako, Prosper Zuma, Hussein Zakari Ivonai, and SJC Francis, Franklin Aka, as well as Harrison. Indeed, it's been a pleasure being your quizmaster for this evening's contest. Until we meet again tomorrow morning for the contest between University of Education, Winneba, and Pentecost University. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Al Hassan Yusuf Traore, and I love academic violence. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.